I didn't call it to order yet. Forgive me.
All right, so we're recording.
Thank you. Okay, I'm Kimberly Kennison. I'm going to call the meeting of the Sprague Subcommittee of the MARB to order today. It is November the 18th, and the first item on the agenda today is the approval of the minutes of June the 5th, if I could get a motion.
Motion to approve the minutes of June the 5th, Sal Luciano.
Thank you, Sal.
Mark Waxenberg, second.
Thank you, Mark. Any discussion? Okay, I think the three of us, we can handle this. For a roll call vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'm in favor as well. So the minutes have been approved. All right, the next item on the agenda is for the teacher's contract. I'm going to wait a little bit to see it and maybe switch the agenda item around and move on to the agenda item number 5 and number 6 so that I can give Christine a little opportunity to jump in on this call if she's able to, if you don't mind. So for Selectmen, I would like you to give us an update on your fiscal 20 audit, please. Agenda item number 5 on the plan. I'm just going to switch things around a little.
Okay, so items have been submitted, and currently they are working on some of them. The general fund is just about set to be turned over to them. Melissa, do you have an update on where we are on that?
Yep, all of the funds with the exception of the general fund and the CNR fund, which they're both in process, have been turned over to the auditors. They have been out for preliminary work, and I'm not sure where they stand with Board of Ed stuff, but for town-wide purposes, I just need to get those two, and hopefully they'll be done within the next 2 weeks, and I can get it to them, and then they can finish the field work.
Okay.
How about Board of Ed? Have they done their testing and works at the Board of Ed?
Yeah, they've reached out to us. We're uploading things to a portal. They've started looking through our reports, and we haven't gotten anything back yet that they want us to scan for testing, but everything will be virtual.
Okay. Do we have a timeline of when they are going to complete their field work and then actually a timeline for draft reports?
As far as I know, I have not heard from them regarding.
Nor have I, as far as the timeline. No. I'll reach out to them to try to get a timeline on that.
Thank you. Tell them that you need to report to the MARB on this in December of when they're anticipating that draft, complete their field work. Yep. And have draft reports. Thanks, Cheryl. Yep. So the next open item is the item on the agenda that I want to talk about is number 6, which is the status of the fiscal 19 audit findings and the corrective action plans.
And we have not completed any other open items since the last meeting. We've had some work on them, but with COVID and audit and 5-year plan, we have not gotten any further on that to have something completed on any of those.
Okay. Have the auditors requested the policies and procedures or anything yet?
No.
Melissa or Michelle?
No, I have not.
No. I did start working on a financial accounting handbook for our office, but I stopped working on that in September, but it's started. But I haven't heard anything from them, from the auditors, for policies or procedures.
Alrighty. I hope we have some drafts of some of those policies and procedures and show that we've made progress from last year to this year in the area. Okay, so we'll look for an update on that in the timeline for the next meeting. One other item as far as audit is concerned, did you reach out to the Board of Finance on an RFP for next year's audit plan?
We have spoken about it. They have not voted on anything at their meeting yet. But it is something that they are looking at.
So you don't know if
They are open to doing it as well, so.
Okay, so it's something that we can get on our radar for the beginning of the new year, and because you'll need something in place for the RFP to go out and get back in time.
Correct.
Okay. So I highly recommend that they do this, and just based on the experience that we've had with the auditors.
Okay.
And it's a good practice.
Right, to switch it up, it's a new set of eyes.
Yep, and maybe we can contain some cost. I don't know. Maybe we can't, but I agree. RFPs are good for audit practices at least every 3 years. How long have we had these auditors? More than 3.
More than 3. Melissa, do you know how many it's been?
I think this might be our 4th year.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know if Christine has joined us? If not, even if she hasn't, we're ready to move on.
No, she's not on yet.
Okay. So I'm going to move to agenda item number 3, which is to review and have discussions around the Teachers League contract for Sprague. Julian, did you do a summary of that, or did that come from the town?
I did a very brief cover memo that I distributed today, so it's quite possible that the members haven't seen it or had a chance to look at it yet.
Okay.
This is Sal Luciano. I was able to look at it, but it said one of the attachments were comparables, and I didn't find the comparables in mine. I don't know if that was an omission or what.
So the contract, the comparables, and the financial analysis all went out with the meeting packet yesterday.
okay.
So all I sent out today
Okay.
was the cover memo, but I can resend.
No, that's okay. I'll go back and look at it. I have it right here.
Okay.
So do you, Julian, do you want to tee this up, or would you like me to have the superintendent do that?
I can just do the background and then hand it off to the superintendent. So it's kind of laid out here in the cover memo. The teacher's current contract is in effect until June 30th of 21. So this contract would then pick up in July and go through June 30th of 2024. In terms of process, it's been approved by the union and by the Board of Education. It's been filed with the town clerk. The MARB statute gives MARB the ability to approve or reject or take no action on the contract. But the window of opportunity for taking action, if the MARB chooses to, is open until December 12th. There's about 25 members to this union. The contract itself, really the major economic provisions deal with wages and steps. I'll let the superintendent kind of cover the substance of the agreement, but as I mentioned in the meeting packet that went out yesterday, you have the contract itself, some comparables, and a fiscal analysis that estimates the cost of the contract. I'll let the superintendent pick it up from there.
Thank you, Julian.
Thanks.
We entered negotiations with the Sprague Teachers League. This summer, we did what was called interest-based bargaining, which is a different way of bargaining than normal negotiation. It's proposal, counter-proposal. This was IBB set up with a discussion, and then at least have a discussion about the issues at hand. I think Julian did a great job of the summary when it talks about it. Basically, it's an 8.5% increase in wages over 3 years, where the state average for teachers is 9.2 over 3. Although there are still some new contracts coming in. We went through interest-based bargaining. We had a state mediator in all sessions facilitating it. And the biggest hang-up, of course, were wages. And we went into mediation on that and settled in mediation. So the Board of Ed walked away thinking that it was a fair deal for the board, and also I think the teachers walked away at least knowing that they were heard. The biggest problem is in their contract is step increments, which were huge. It was 2.8. I believe 2.9 and 3.0 in the third year of the contract, just to bring everybody along steps. And in the past, I believe they had 8 years of step freezes. So therefore, we settled on an 8.5, and we left it up to the union to decide how they wanted to distribute that with veto power if we didn't like how they distributed it. They did half steps and no step movements. You can see that on the summary page. But it's a pretty straightforward contract. We were happy to get it under state average.
Thank you, Superintendent. Any questions for the committee members?
Kim, can I just mention one thing on the financial side before?
Yes, please.
In the financial impact analysis, and I did chat briefly with Michelle about this at about the same time I was sending this out. There is in the cost analysis, it does show a cost associated with health insurance. But that is really a hypothetical premium increase, which would happen independent of the contract. So it's not really. I don't think we typically wouldn't incorporate that into, include that as an impact from the contract itself. I think it was just, she was trying to do a comprehensive cost projection, but this, what she had here is really a premium increase and not a result of the contract itself. So I think that in terms of the financial impact, the emphasis or the focus should be on the salary increase, because there were no changes to like health plan design, no changes to health insurance cost share or anything like that. Thanks.
We are already, this is Bill Hall, we are already in the state plan. For us to get out of the state plan would be a 3-year notification, and the town would have to come out with us. And we looked at the 22% as being some of the highest premium co-shares around. I think we set the comp on that also. So although we entered the discussion with that, if we had moved on that and moved that percentage up, we believed, and the union actually told us this, that we would have had to pay more in salary increases.
This is Mark.
Yes, Mark.
The stipends, is there any salary increase over the 3 years for the stipend
No.
positions? Those are all
No salary increases for stipends.
This is Mark, I'll move to approve.
Any other discussions before?
Well, let me give you, a little background, if I may.
Well, let me second that. Let me second that so we can go into discussion.
Thank you.
Being familiar with negotiations with teachers in my former life, there are concerns I have, but not about the salary. But those are decisions that are made at the local level that I'm sure the superintendent may have concerns about, and/or the board, regarding retaining teachers based on the 25, but really is a 15-year schedule that's been modified to 25 or 26 years. But that's a separate issue. The cause for me supporting it is obviously our concern is for retiree and long-term changes to health benefits and things of that nature, which teachers are not subjected to because they're under state statute. So there's no OPEB liability on any Board of Education for pension or for healthcare costs unless it's separately negotiated, and Sprague has not separately negotiated that. So it's a straight salary. I looked at the comparables. They don't seem to be outlandish. And it's within the 5-year plan the way I see it, unless I'm reading it wrong. So I think that in looking at this, it's something that I think that we should approve and send forward to MARB, the MARB committee as a whole.
I think Christine is joining us. Christine, is that you who joined us?
Good afternoon, all. Sorry for the delay.
You're fine. We were just in the final stages of approving the teacher's contract. And we're at the level of approval, but we're still under discussion. If you had any items that you wanted to discuss, or if you wanted to be brought up to date.
No, I'm all set. I appreciate Julian for many reasons, not the least of which is this very good summary of the relevant terms. So I'm all set.
Very good. So we do have a motion and a second. Do we have any other discussion? Then
can I just say this is a recommendation, correct? For the full board.
Yes, it is. It's a recommendation to move up to the full board by the subcommittee. Yes, Sal.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Yep. So you'll get another opportunity.
Yeah.
Let's do I think we can understand each person's voices today, so I don't think I have to do a full roll call. Can I hear who is in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
And so am I. So we are all in favor. Thank you.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
This so the teacher's contract has been approved for recommendation to go to the MARB. The next agenda is for us to discuss and take possible action on the 5-year plan for the fiscal year 21 to 25. And bear with me while I shuffle my papers around to get to that. So Julian, I know that you updated our summary from the last time that we met in June as a subcommittee, when we asked the town to go back and take a look at their numbers and get them in line, as they did not have a balanced fund balance in the out years. And so we wanted the town to come back and balance their out years of their fund balance and make some adjustments. And since then, the town has done that, and they actually held a meeting that took place on November 9th, and the Board of Ed was in favor as well. It was a joint meeting between the Board of Finance, Board of Education, and the First Selectman. And they all approved this 5-year plan. So today we are here to get an update on what changes were made and how the out years look, that they're more in balance. There is one year, which is 2025, that has still a small negative fund balance out there. I probably would not suggest that we hold it up for that. We could ask for some efficiencies and things that they can look at in the out year. So I'm going to ask the First Selectman to bring us up to date, unless Julian, you would like to walk through your updates that you made on your summary.
I'm happy to do either. I can help fill in where there are questions if that helps, but otherwise I'll defer to the First Selectman to take the lead.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. We did meet with the Board of Finance, the Board of Education, and the Board of Selectmen on November 9th. Had discussion about what areas we could work on the plan so that we could bring it into balance. The Board of Education expenditures, we reduced the increases from 1.6% to 1.5% over the outgoing years. And then reduced non-contracted salaries at the town hall to 1%. We had budgeted in 2%, and then the remainder were tax increases, which ended up being another $0.25 in the last 2 years of the plan. Everyone was, it was by consensus, and everyone was in agreement with where we went. We did talk on the Board of Education side with making these reductions in their budget, and the Board of Education anticipates being able to rework some numbers, perhaps work on some of the contracts, maybe transportation, or just find some savings that they can try to work in to make us be able to achieve these savings, to bring our numbers into line.
All right, I do, there was a change that was made to the mill rate in 2024 and 2025 in order to get it in balance, where in the prior report that we received, they were at 37.25. So they've actually made the change for 24 to 37.5, and then in 25, 38.25 to get this in balance.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Other changes, they were just those small minor adjustments.
Yes, those were the only changes that we made.
All right, I think we have definitely walked through this, and I'm glad for the good work of getting it in more in line. I would propose for the out year that I know some kind of efficiencies that would take place in the current years will hopefully spill over into 2025, so that we're not going to approve a plan with a deficit.
Correct.
Any discussion from the committee members? Shall we take a motion today to recommend the approval of the 5-year plan to the full MARB for fiscal year 21 to 25?
Salutiano, motion to approve.
Thank you, Sal. Can I get a second?
Mark, second.
Thank you, Mark. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we're all in favor. So this recommendation will go forward to the full board in December. Perfect.
Kim, can I just get a clarification on process?
Yes.
For Selectmen, could you just clarify again for me which of the three boards took formal action? I believe the Board of Education actually voted, and the other
The
two
Board of
expressed a
Education actually
consensus.
voted, correct.
And the
Now-
others expressed a consensus at the joint meeting. Is that a fair representation of?
All three boards expressed a consensus at the joint meeting. The Board of Education formally voted on it at their meeting that followed. They had a meeting a couple of days later.
So I guess my question would be for the subcommittee, if they suggest that whether one or both of the other boards should take a formal action, and in what sequence, before it goes to the MARB or about the same time, or just to give the town some direction, if there's an expectation that they're going to do more, that they know what's going to be required of them.
So it was my understanding, I did not know that we didn't have a full approval from the towns. It was just a consensus. From the Board of Finance.
From the Board of Finance, it was a consensus. And I'll be happy to ask them to do, they have a meeting tomorrow evening. I'd be happy to ask them to put it on the agenda. I'm sure they will have no problem doing that, adding it and doing a formal vote.
Yes.
Do we wish to change the
Yes.
motion and make it
Yes.
to contingent upon approval?
Yes. Yes.
I'll make that
Let's
motion.
change the motion. Thank you.
Yeah.
I will second
The
that
motion
motion.
would be, okay, the motion would be to recommend approval pending everybody approving the 5-year plan first.
I will
Those-
second
yeah.
that.
Okay.
And you want that for the Board of Finance as well as the Board of Selectmen, correct?
Yes, if that is
Yes.
the normal process, yes.
Yep, that's fine.
Thank you. And hopefully we can get that done before the MARB meeting. If not, this item, it will be contingent.
Yeah, no, I believe it'll be done. I'll let you know as soon as it is, but I don't believe there'll be any problem getting it done before the MARB meeting.
Very good. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you, Christine. All right. I have no other items on the agenda, but I did want to get an update of the cash flow. As just to confirm that we still, it's still looking fine from a cash situation. Your low month was to be in the month of December.
Yes, as of right now, everything looks to be on track and we should be completely fine with the cash flow.
Very good. Thank you for that. Also, as far as outstanding accounts payable invoices, are we still within 60 days?
Yes.
Yes, definitely.
Thank you. And one other item is COVID reimbursement. I think we were told that you had applied for COVID reimbursement.
Yes, we did.
Very good. I'm sure the other items that the committee would be interested in hearing about would be from the superintendent to hear how you're doing with the school and distant learning and the pandemic and what situation you're at right now.
How much time do you have?
Oh, good. I will say we have till 4:30, but we'll take.
I don't know if that's enough time, I'll be honest with you, so.
Can we have the Cliff Notes?
Yeah, you can. Presently, we are out, fully remote. We had 3 confirmed cases in the building. The last case, had many contacts within, the building. And, so we went out fully, as of last, Friday, we're out fully. That means remote learning, through, the Thanksgiving vacation. Hopefully, we're coming back on the 30th, on Monday the 30th, 4 days a week. We will stay 4 days a week through the Christmas holiday break, and then it's really day to day based on how many cases that we have. Presently, it's 40 cases in Sprague. That doesn't sound like a whole lot, but when you only have 3,000 people, the numbers go up.
Yeah.
We know of some of that 44 is a cluster. We know where that cluster was. It wasn't in the building, but since we had it in the building with multiple contacts throughout, we decided to play it safe and move out. I will say that the town, the first select woman, and which is our health district, have been invaluable in their help and their guidance.
Oh, very good. And I'm sorry to hear that you had that many cases in that small area.
Yeah, things are really peaking in southeastern Connecticut. So we're one of many districts struggling at this time through in the southeastern area.
Thank you for that update.
It's Mark. Obviously, Norwich Free Academy does its own thing, has an impact on you. What's their status? Are they?
They are also fully remote right now. They had the day before they went fully remote, they had five cases reported. The day before that, they had 7 cases reported, and apparently they had an off-site gathering of, they weren't sure how many students. So since they weren't able to determine how many, and they had this many cases, they had also done a survey of their staff and parents to see whether people were traveling for the Thanksgiving holiday, gathering in large groups, or having college students come home. And I think that also played into theirs, but they are now also fully remote as of Friday.
And I think they're remote through December 9th, I believe.
Correct, I think you're right.
So, but to answer your question, Mark, they have some impact, but they've already been remote once already. This is their second time being remote. And when they were remote, we were in 4 days a week.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks for that update. So that's, any other discussions from the members?
Saluciano, motion to adjourn.
Mark, second.
I think we're all in favor. Thank you all for joining us today and getting through this. I know it's been a long-awaited push. I wish everybody a happy holiday, and I know we'll be talking again soon in December. Stay healthy.
Safe, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanksgiving. Stay well.
You too.
Thank you.
Bye-bye
Happy
now.
holidays. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.